What's going on, my friends? This is Dave Sharpe. Welcome to Wake Up Legendary. I am thrilled. I just changed microphones. You guys hear that? Hopefully I'm coming in a little bit more clear, crisper. Sounded like, some sort of a radio host. I'm not a real one. I just play one on Facebook every morning. But anyways, guys, I am thrilled to be back here once again on the 18th here at 10 a.m. Eastern time. For another episode of Wake Up Legendary. As you guys can see, we're going to be talking a little bit about the great equalizer. And it's not Headspace, the app, although there is an app called Headspace. We're going to talk about these 6 or 7 inches right here between both of your ears. And this gentleman who's going to be coming on that's going to share his experience, his story with you this morning is going to, I hope, drill home to you that there's a saying which he may quote from Eric Thomas. I'm going to quote one from one of my early indirect mentors, Jeffrey Combs. He said, having more heart than talent. And that always stuck with me, right? Because I wouldn't say that I'm the most talented guy. I'm not the most tech savvy. I'm not the best at probably anything out there, but I've definitely got more heart than the average person, and probably more heart than the above average person, right? Even the person who considers themselves high work ethic, high achiever, they probably still will give up sooner than I would give up. And I think that's the ultimate edge, and that seems to be Alex's edge as well. It's his story. I'm going to let him tell it. I'd like you guys to help me welcome to the Digital Wake Up Legendary stage this morning with a lot of love. Alex, can you hear me, my brother?
I can hear you. How's it going, Dave? How's it going, Legendary community? Good to be here.
Great to have you, man. Great to have you. You're also in the state of Florida, I believe. Is that right?
That's right. I'm in South Florida in Jupiter.
Sunshine State.
Right.
So awesome, dude. Well, it's great. There's an interesting connection. I was just reading up a little bit about you before we started. I'm learning about you just as everybody else is here this morning. I jumped on at about 30 seconds before we went live, like I do most mornings. So, you could come on here and throw us for a total loop. I have no clue what we're about to get into.
I hope not.
But it was interesting. You're a ex-military veteran. You're a ex-cop. You've done some boat mechanic work. You knew and served with Jamar Jones, I believe, who's another member of our community, another marketer in our community. So that's kind of a fascinating piece of information. You went from 0 to 70 TikTok followers in one weekend. So help us understand and put together all these little details that I just mentioned, and most importantly, how the hell you even got into affiliate marketing and eventually found Legendary in the first place.
All right. So as I've told everybody that logs into my live streams or wherever, and like you just said, I was in the military for 6 years. I was in the Coast Guard with Jamar Jones. This was 10, 12 years ago at this point. And Jamar was actually the guy who taught me how to do my job 10 or 12 years ago. So just the connection between that and now is amazing. But I spent 6 years in the military. Decided I didn't want to do that anymore. Got out, wanted to fold into law enforcement, did that for 3 years, wasn't quite doing what I thought I was going to be doing and wasn't helping people the way that I wanted to help people. So I met a girl, actually met my girlfriend in France, not this past summer, the summer before, and love at first sight. I moved down to Florida, where I'm from originally anyways, and I wanted to work on the water, and I've always wanted to work on boats and stuff like that. So I started working on boats, and something interesting kind of happened as I was, working on boats and going through that phase of my work life or my career, I suppose. I kind of felt this void, like I wasn't helping people the way that I wanted to help people. Like when I was in the military, I was helping people. When I was a cop, I was helping people. Now that I was a boat mechanic, I was like, yeah, I'm not helping people quite the way that I wanted to. So that actually took my emotional state on an interesting path, and probably around this past October, I'd say, I got super low, like emotionally, like in a really bad place. And I don't mince words. I tell everybody who logs into my TikTok lives, I was borderline suicidal for a really long time. Not a really long time, probably about a month or so, just because like I had this huge void in my life. And so I was just scrolling through Facebook one day and I found like a Coursera course on Facebook marketing. So I started taking that and I was like, this is kind of awesome. I can totally do this. And so I knew that Jamar was doing some sort of marketing. I didn't know what. And I reached out to him and he was like, yes, I'm doing affiliate marketing. And I took this 15-day course and I think that you should take it too. I think it'll really help you. And so I'll be completely honest. When I first started it, I was kind of like, I don't know about this. Like I was kind of in that same mindset as everybody else seems to be at this point in time, that, anything making money online is some sort of scam. So I started going through it, and I was like, no, this is legit. Like I can 100% sink my teeth into this. And one of the things that I saw kind of through things that you said and things that I was talking to Jamar about is like, you can help people achieve their dream life with affiliate marketing. Like you can go anywhere, you can make money from anywhere. Your ceiling as far as your income is pretty much unlimited. And you can, have people or help people stay home with their families, all that kind of stuff. So about like day 4, I think I was like, okay, the switch just flipped. I was like, yep, this is what I'm doing for the rest of my life, 100%. And I got to day 5 and invested in the blueprints, and that's pretty much the story. But you want me to go into my TikTok story, because that's a pretty fun one.
Yeah, sure. I mean, funnel right into it, man. It's great. I'm loving listening to your timeline and your journey here.
Yeah, okay. So while I was waiting for my my business plan advisor call between, I think, day 3 and 4, I think it was, I asked Jamar, I was like, I want to do something. Like I'm so fired up right now. I just want to do something. Like, should I start building funnels, or should I start, I don't know. Like, I want to do something. And he was like, just take the 15-second free leads course. It's only $1, and start, like, build your TikTok following. So I took the 15-second free leads, and that was before I even had a TikTok account. So, but one of the things you guys talk about is essentially, like, I don't want to say hacking other people, but looking and seeing what is working in TikTok right now, and using your own spin, and then kind of putting that out and using that as your own. So like I said, or like you said, I went from 0 on, I think, November 3rd, election day, to 72,000 in about 3 weeks. But most of that happened in the span of a weekend. So on a Friday, right before I was going out to dinner with my girlfriend and her dad, I saw a TikTok post from Spencer Meekum, and I was like, all right, why not? I'll just throw this together, and before I head out the door. So I put it all together, filmed it, put my spin on it, all that, put it out. Didn't think, I had 700 followers at this point. Didn't think anything was going to come from it. Nothing. So sitting there at dinner, and my phone is just like, I'm surprised the battery lasted as long as it did, because my phone was just vibrating constantly. And I was like, is someone trying to call me right now? And I looked down at my phone, and like, the most views I had ever had on a video up to that point was probably like 3,000. So I looked at my phone, looked at that post, and it had like 300,000 views in the span of maybe an hour and a half. So along with all those views, I was getting all these followers. So long story short, I get to Sunday, and I had just over 72,000 followers. So Friday I had 700. Sunday I had 72,000. So it's just been
And
constantly.
if that's not like a hook, line, and sinker thing, then because back, I'm trying to think back. There's these new platforms, and if you guys think that like you're late on things like TikTok or you're late on these platforms, like you're really fooling yourself, because now not only is there huge opportunity in all these platforms, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, like if you do them the way that we do them and our students do them and clients do them in the way that we talk and teach them here in this community, which it really is an amazing community effort here, a culmination of all these different legendary marketers, if you will, that are like, putting in the work to develop these strategies. I mean, we lay a blueprint and then people sort of put, like you said, put their own spin, and it's just an amazing dynamic. But like my point that I was going to make was twofold. First and foremost, it's never been easier to get a result as fast as you can now. I remember 10 years ago, when I was starting, there wasn't, all the platforms that there are now. There was really only just Facebook and YouTube, and, we were just coming off of MySpace 10 years ago. And so, you know what I mean? So a lot of these platforms that are so dynamic and fast and like TikTok and stuff, didn't exist. So, it's not always about, I say that to say that you can get a result nowadays that's not even a monetary result, that can give you the motivation and the excitement that you're making progress faster than ever before.
Absolutely.
And that's actually, I actually think that that's a good thing for the mindset. And we're going to talk about that. I mean, that's sort of the title and the topic here, but that's good for the mindset, because I think it teaches us subconsciously to put in the work to get the result from a marketing standpoint, not just from a money standpoint. Right. Because as long as the internet's been around, there's been people who have been pitching magical money machines. And so people get in and they do the 3 simple steps and they don't make any money. And they're like, this doesn't work or whatever. But now, and I believe this is part of our culture, and it's part of, I think, what makes Legendary extraordinary, in the sense that it's like a leadership factory. It really has pumped out so many great marketers, is because it's a culmination of right place, right time. There's platforms right now that are also supporting you. If you take action, you can get results. And it's better to build an audience, to learn how to market, to learn how to drive traffic, to learn how to create content, rather than learning how to make money. I don't even know what that means, because all these things have to be done first in order to drive the traffic into a sales funnel to make money. It's like internet marketing's never changed. It's always been about driving traffic to an offer. That's it. Driving targeted traffic. People who, if somebody's not interested in learning how to make money online, that's not a targeted visitor. If somebody's not interested in learning how to lose weight, then no matter how much traffic you drive to that offer, if they're not interested in losing weight, they're not gonna buy. But driving targeted traffic who resonate with a message to a targeted offer using direct response marketing, drive them to a page, collect their email so you can follow up, show them one offer in a hard-hitting sales letter or video, and then they either buy or they leave the page. I mean, that's what direct response marketing is all about. But your story just really demonstrates how, I think, not only is the opportunity much faster to get a result and get excited about your business, but it's also, I actually think, supporting the right behavior, because the money will come if you learn the marketing, do the marketing, and begin to build the audience. Does that resonate with you?
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry, I gotta take my hat off. It's driving me crazy. Yeah, 100%. I completely agree with everything you just said. I mean, I don't really have anything to add on that, because you pretty much encapsulated it all pretty much there.
So
But yeah, go ahead.
so as a brand new like dude who's never done affiliate marketing, internet marketing, anything, how has it been to find Legendary, and what is your experience with our community and our company and the people here been like for you?
That's, oh my God. Like it's so different than anything I've ever experienced because, being a cop, being in the military, especially being in the boat mechanic world, everybody is out for themselves. Everybody's trying to get the next promotion or trying to get, the next whatever, trying to, step on everybody else to get ahead. Whereas what I found with Legendary is like there's everybody that I've talked to. I've talked to AJ Rance. I've talked obviously Jamar, Nathan Earl, Daryl Gray, Brian. All these people, they're so willing to just help you succeed. And it was like completely. I wasn't expecting it at all. I was expecting it to be like everything else, where everything's a competition. But I love Legendary because the community is so amazing. And that's like, I'd say that's the number one reason why I love Legendary and why I still promote them. I push them every single day with 5 posts on TikTok. I go live for at least like 2.5 hours, and I constantly push Legendary because of the community. The community and the education are obviously the two biggest things. But yeah, the community has honestly been, that's for real. That's why I'm still here, because the community is amazing and they just want you to succeed. They just want to help.
Yeah, that's awesome, bro. So you mentioned going live on TikTok. There's been a lot of people who go live on TikTok, and there's, I think there's ways in which going live can hurt and help. It can hurt because in a sense, it's like you're going live and maybe there might be a message that you're sort of always available and you're kind of too available and, you're not really busy. Maybe it can kind of look like, hey, does this person, like, what is all they do is go live? Like, that doesn't look like a real business. It doesn't look like a real thing. Like, why are they just going live all the time? So maybe it can put off a perception that this person's just out going live trying to scam them.
Right.
On the other sense, I mean, obviously, I'm just playing devil's advocate. Like I'm going live. We're live right now. I mean, going live is super effective, and there's not a lot of things that are more powerful than going live. What is your strategy in going live? When do you go live? What's your format for going live? You say going live for 2.5 hours. That seems like a long time. Are you driving sales from going live? Talk us through your approach to going live.
So typically, as everyone who goes live on TikTok knows, like the first 15 to 20 minutes are really rough because just how the algorithm works, it's pushing like a bunch of people who may not want to actually see hear what you have to say in. So the first 15 to 20 minutes are just like, it's kind of dead space. But then after that, once you kind of get the people that you want into your TikTok live, then I usually start just talking. Like I just talk about affiliate marketing. I have a clear board right behind the computer here. And I'll just set it up and I'll just start going through like what a funnel is or, how to start affiliate marketing and stuff like that. And generally, once I do that and once I start setting up and start talking and, people don't understand things, then they'll ask questions. And it's not like 2.5 hours of me just, yammering on about nothing. It's 2.5 hours of people who are genuinely curious about affiliate marketing, who've seen all this stuff on TikTok, who may think it's a scam, and they want to come in and they want to talk about it. So it's 2.5 hours of me. And, like I said, anyone else who goes live knows exactly what I'm talking about. It's 2.5 hours of answering questions, dealing with concerns. And yes, there's obviously a sales aspect to it. I have found it to be one of the best avenues for pushing traffic to my funnel. But yeah, it's for everyone out there who doesn't go live on TikTok, you're honestly missing out. You don't have to do it as long as I do, just go out and do it. It's another one of those things, like you're afraid to post your first TikTok post. Look how that worked out for you. It worked out well. So just start going live on TikTok. It's really not that big of a deal, and you'll be so glad that you did, because you get to connect with people so much more than just putting out TikTok posts or, engaging with people on your email list or your Facebook group. They get to see your face. They get to see your reaction to things. So, yeah.
So, what do you go? Is there any rhyme or reason to your time of the day or day of the week? Do you go live every day? Do you create some sort of consistency, or is it random?
So now that I'm full-time self-employed, I have been going live pretty much every day around like 10:30 or 11, whenever I finish with whatever I'm doing in the morning. And I'll usually do that for maybe an hour or two. And then every night at 9, I go live every single night.
Wow. So you're going live literally twice a day.
Yeah. Cause I know that whenever I watch someone who's live, like if I watch AJ or if I watch Daryl, I appreciate them answering my questions more than if I sent them an email or, a DM in TikTok. I appreciate it so much more. So I kind of took how I felt about, people answering my questions on TikTok live, and I use that as a reason to go live on TikTok as often as I can. And from what I've found, people really genuinely appreciate it.
So how do you balance, Alex, the community you said so powerful, so beneficial, and obviously looking and watching other marketers, it can be difficult not to sort of get sucked in to what maybe they're up to, and then you cover enough, you look at enough different examples, and there's bound to be somebody who's promoting or talking about this thing over here or this thing over here, because marketers typically, especially affiliate marketers, might be talking about several different promotions or products throughout the week, and there's always a great story and a great pitch, and I think it can somewhat be difficult for somebody who's new to sort of separate I'm going to stand back and I'm learning from this person. I'm learning, I'm watching. So I'll give you a great example. I went to a Tony Robbins event probably 5 years ago, and I was somewhat of a seasoned event. We had been doing, I'm not going to call myself a seasoned speaker because I never considered myself that, but I'd done some speaking in front of some big crowds, and we'd put on some events, and I was going to go there to, take my skills to the next level by observing, right? Well, Saturday night at 11 p.m. at night, I'm swiping my credit card for $15,000. You know what I mean? and it's like, damn, got him.
Man, they got me.
And it's like I remember this story I told myself. I was like, well, I just want to buy from Tony so I can have more conviction about selling my higher premium price offers and stuff, because I'm also willing to spend. But I mean, the truth of the matter is like, dude, I just couldn't not buy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so how do you separate the observing and learning from different marketers, modeling? I'm glad you corrected yourself on the hacking, because I think that's the whole funnel hacking thing. As much as I love Russell, it's like when you go through and you just think that because if you copy what somebody does, you're going to get their same results. It's not. You got to understand what they're doing. You got to understand what they're doing. You can't just think that you're going to say the same exact thing and then you're going to get the same exact results, because maybe that marketer has history. Maybe they've got a different rapport. They've got, you don't know the full story. But if you can learn by observing and really try to pick up like what they're doing, and then go and model that and play with that, and sort of work with that on your own. How do you observe and learn from other marketers without getting sucked into shiny object syndrome and taking down 50,000 different paths each week?
Man, I'm so glad you brought that up, because probably up until about a week ago, there was like a month where I felt like I was doing all the same things as all these super successful marketers out there. Like I had the same funnel, I had the same, concept of the funnel. I was putting out the same content and stuff like that. And I just could, for the life of me, not understand why I wasn't achieving the same results as someone who I was essentially copying. And that's because I wasn't being myself. People buy from you because they trust you, not because you're, because of like a certain layout of your funnel or something. That obviously helps. I want to, minimize that, but people want to buy from you because they trust you. So that's how I kind of got out of it, because I was hard and heavy into the shiny object syndrome. I was changing my funnel like every 2 days whenever I'd like find another one that seemed to be working out for somebody. And then eventually I got to the point where I was like, all right, so this isn't working. I have the same funnel as everybody else. I'm using the same copy. I'm using the same, types of pictures. My bridge page video is essentially the same as everybody else's. I'm putting out the same kind of content. Why isn't this working? And then like I kind of sat down with myself one day. I was sitting on the couch and I was like, I got to figure this out. And then the first thought that popped into my head was like, it's because you are like everybody else that they're not buying from you. That's the whole reason no one's buying from you, is because you are like everybody else. So be different. And then that day I sat down, changed up my entire funnel. I still haven't changed my bridge page video yet, but I'm working on it. Changed up the way I do my content. I started writing my own emails instead of using swipes. And it's proven to be pretty successful for me. So that's, to answer your question, what was it for me? I just sat down one day and I was like, what am I doing different? Or what am I doing that is, or what are these guys doing that's different from me? And they're all just being themselves, and I'm trying to be just like them. So
yeah, that's super, super key. Super key. I didn't know how you were going to answer that or what was going to come up for you with that question, but it's so hard. I mean, from my perspective, teaching marketing and being in this marketing world for so long, and people just wanting the copy and paste and the done for you, in one respect that sells really well, because that's what people want. Sure. You know what I mean? Like that sells well. So you'll see, even if you guys use that in your marketing, it'll sell really well. But I was talking to a coaching client the other day, and I said, give them what they want on the front end and give them what they need on the back end. And that's sort of the sort of, I haven't found of a better way to do it, because 90+% of people, I'd say damn near everybody, when they first encounter some sort of a wanting to learn something new, but particularly online marketing, they're so brainwashed with skepticism that it's possible, and disbelief in themselves, because of all the skeptical, negative people that they've grown up around and in the messaging that they've heard. And they think that the only way to do it is to copy somebody, is to copy them. Yeah. And, that's the messaging, right, that we've all heard. And I've used it too. And there's a part of it that's true. Like Tony Robbins says, if you want to be successful, find somebody that's successful and do what they do. It's such an easy thing to say, and it instantly makes sense, but it's not the whole story. Right. And the whole story is that if there's a done for you, if you come into online marketing and you buy something that's done for you, or you get some email swipe that's done for you and written for you, the best thing that you can do is study that and say, what pieces can I take from this that I can use in creating my own thing creating my own style, creating my own emails, creating my own videos. What can I learn? What can I test? And sort of like one of the things that we do when in the blueprints is we take people on a all day workshop and we give them like 9 campaigns and we say, launch these campaigns, because you're immediately going to get your hands dirty and start to understand how to run campaigns and how to, deal with challenges but at the very least, study the campaigns, look at them, see the congruency from the ad to the landing page to the bridge page, then on to the offer. Study the free giveaway on the landing page. What is making people opt in? What is the bait that's being used on the landing page in exchange for their email? What about the ad is so compelling? Is there a story being used? What's the hook, right? And then model these pieces of marketing versus just finding somebody who's successful in doing what they do. Because what I had the same experience when I got started, and it was, I didn't think that I was good enough. I thought that my hair needed to look like this guy, and I needed to wear the same clothes, and I needed to speak the same way. And you're right. When people saw my things, my content and my marketing, there was nothing that was different about me. There was nothing. I just looked like another cookie cutter, almost robot who was just repeating the same things. And I think Alex, we don't value personally or realize the power in our idiosyncrasies, in our weirdness, in our just exactly who we are and how cool we are. Each and every one of us, would we absolutely embrace our own skin, our own vibe, our own way of talking, our own accents, our own stories, like how absolutely cool and unique each one of us is. And I wonder how we can get people to the place to where we really can embrace who we are and how cool we are and how different each one of us is and how attractive that is to others. So deep, it's a loaded question. I don't know that we can tackle it in this session.
For sure. It's so hard because that's a mindset thing. I mean, headspace, it's a whole headspace thing. When you first start, you don't know that. I'm speaking from experience. When I first started this, I had no marketing experience and I had never done anything online. So my thought was, all right, I need to model myself after all these people who are successful. And as I previously said, that was why I wasn't doing well. So you need to people need to get out of that mind space that you need to be so much like everybody else, because if you are like everybody else, you just fade into the background. You're just fading into the noise. But so think about the analogy, seeing the forest for the trees. If there's a tree out there that is red, it's got colors all over it, it's kind of crooked, people are going to pay attention to that tree so much more than all the other, straight up, pine trees. So just think about it that way. Don't start this trying to fade into the background, because that's all you're going to be. You're going to be in the background. You have to embrace who you are and the things that, make you so much different than everybody else, because that's what people are going to pay attention to. They're not going to pay attention, again, to the people that are just in the background. So that's something that I wish I had. I mean, that's not something that you can really tell somebody and that they'll completely understand until they start to, see it for themselves. So if you're out there and you're just beginning and you're kind of funnel hacking, you're looking at everybody's stuff and trying to model, your copy, your bridge page, the layout of your funnel, your content. If you're trying to model it after other people, just don't, because the people that are successful are the ones that stand out from the crowd.
Yeah, I think the framework is there, right? The framework is something to model, but just I think the example that you gave like we give people a bridge page script, like people who are affiliates of Legendary, which is not everybody, and that's not the only thing we teach here is how to be affiliates of Legendary, of course, but it's just an example. And we give people bridge pages for other offers who go through our business blueprints course. And, that's a great starting place. That's a great starting place. It's a great place for you to have something that you can rock and roll with on day one. Right. But eventually, if you're going to be serious about this, within 30 days, you want to start testing and tweaking new things. And the way that I like to do it is test one new thing at a time, because then I can tell, okay, this new thing that I tested either was better or worse than what I had before. And then I just keep testing and tweaking. And I think one of the things that we don't do and talk about as much, because it can be hard work, is split testing stuff. That requires constant going back and changing things. And for me, part of my personality now, and part of my sort of everyday, I just look at it as my job description, is to constantly question, can I get better conversions doing it a different way? It becomes part of the game. It's a game of cat and mouse. It's a game of, can I catch more fish, this year than I did last year, by going out with a different rod, by going out with a different bait, by going out with a different chum block. I
completely understand that thought.
You know what I mean? And so, can I, and that requires me to go and, maybe buy a new reel, or, put forth the work. In many respects, it's just about the sweat equity. And I want to transition and end with the mindset piece, but this is really the, what am I willing to, how far am I willing to go? What am I willing to, am I willing to outwork others? Which is one of the things that you said, you wrote us, when we asked you some questions before we went live. You were like, you mentioned Eric Thomas and the quote that you heard about him saying, you may be better than me, you may be smarter than me, you may be stronger than me, but you won't outwork me. And that's, that I found in every industry, in every job, in every business, that seems to be a common denominator. And I found that I've worked hard. Of course it was a grind. Of course it was a challenge. Of course it was more stressful at the beginning, but now it's something that there's no place I'd rather be than working on marketing, than working on my business. It's like literally my favorite thing to do. Don't tell my family that, but it's like, I love doing it because the curiosity of, will something work better? But it started off as I had to commit to outworking others. You mentioned that, and I wonder if you'll talk a little bit about that as we bring this in for a landing. The headspace, the great equalizer. What do you mean by that?
So when I first found Legendary and I first found affiliate marketing, I kind of went into it with the same headspace as I always went into everything. If I'm not good at it, then it's not that big of a deal if I just quit. So a little bit of background on that. Growing up, I was always good at everything. I was really good at baseball. I was really good at swimming. I was really good at jiu-jitsu, like a bunch of stuff. I was really good at it. And whenever I encountered something that I wasn't good at, I would just quit, because I was like, well, I just don't want to deal with that. I want to focus on things that I'm good at. But what I found over the course of my life is that all these, like being in the military, being a cop, being a boat mechanic, whenever things got difficult, I was like, oh yeah, sorry, no, I think I'm good. And eventually, like, I got to a point right when I started affiliate marketing where I was like, what kind of life is that giving me? Where as soon as I encounter any sort of adversity, I just drop it. What has that done for me so far? I've given up on 2 great careers. Granted, they were making me miserable, so that is what it is. But that's, there's a bunch of other little things in there that could have led to such a great life, but I quit. So when I first started doing affiliate marketing, I kind of had that headspace where if I'm not going to be good at this, if I don't see a certain return by a certain date, then I'll just cut my losses and call it good. And as I was going through the 15-day challenge, I was like, you know what? Like, why do I think like that? Why am I constantly looking for a way out of something? Like if I'm giving myself an excuse to quit if I'm not good at it. So eventually I was like, you know what? No, I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm going to see this through, and I will be, I don't know if I'm allowed to cuss on this, but if I'm not, sorry, I'm going to be the hardest working motherfucker there is in this industry. And people probably won't see it in the very beginning, but they're going to tell way later on, 2-3 years down the road, when I'm, sitting on a beach in Bali, typing on my computer, working on my business, and they're still the ones sitting at their 9-to-5 jobs. They're going to know that I'm the hardest worker in this room, and I always will be. And that, honestly, that whole, like, I had a day where I sat down with your millionaire mindset, and I was listening to it while I was at work. And this shift happened pretty much as I was listening to that. And I was like, you know what? I'm done quitting. Like, I'm going to be the hardest worker in this room. And for those of you out there who are just starting, I encourage you to start to try and absorb that mindset, or, attract that mindset, because why start something and not want to be the best at it? What's the point? There is no point, because you're not going to be successful if you have this mediocrity mindset. You need to be absolutely motivated every single day to go out and crush your goals. And that's what I do every single day. I wake up at 7:30. I sit on the ground in my bedroom, and I'm just like, what am I going to do today that's going to be better than what somebody else is doing? And I mean, that's worked out pretty well for me so far. So that's what I would encourage everyone out there watching this, experienced or not, to think that way. Be the best at whatever it is you're doing. As Eric Thomas said, you may be stronger than me, you may be smarter than me, but you're not going to fucking outwork me. I guarantee that. So try and start to gear your mind towards that mindset. So that's all I
that story about you quitting anything that was hard is one of the most powerful stories around mindset that I've ever heard, Alex, in 10 years of doing this. So I hope that you'll keep telling that and refining that story, because that is without a doubt one of the most powerful, just potent and clear. I could see myself in that. I could see you in that story. I could see it clearly, and it had a profound effect just on me as you were telling it, and many other who I could see in the comments. So, brother, I just want you to know you have my full 100% support for you, for your business. And I want to also let you know that my experience is not only in business, but marriage and everything. That commitment to working hard, to getting through the challenges, to leaning in when it gets tough is the edge. It is the edge. And so just keep telling that story. Keep doing what you're doing. I hope you'll be willing to come back and continue to share this wonderful wisdom and personal real life experience that you've been having. And we're grateful, dude, to have you as a part of this community, man.
Man, I'm grateful to be a part of it. As I said, this is an absolutely life-changing community. If you would have told me 3 months ago, because I started about 2.5 months ago, if you would have told me 3 months ago that I would be where I am right now, unemployed, well, call it unemployed, and be just insanely happy, and then I'd be sitting down talking to you, I probably would have laughed in your face. And that's just the power of affiliate marketing. Once you start and once you get your mind right, it's genuinely life-changing, and it doesn't take a year. It takes 2.5 months. That's been my experience. You can change your life in an instant as long as you have the right mindset. So, yeah, of course, I'll come back on anytime, Dave. You tell me when, and I'll be here.
Thanks, brother. Well, listen, man, keep up the great work. Be well, be safe, be legendary, my friend, and we'll talk to you later, okay?
All right. See you guys.
See you, brother. All right, guys, there you have it. Let's flash his TikTok handle so you guys can go check him out and continue to receive that awesome wisdom. He's got a unique handle there, shaka.lifestyle. Love it. You got to go learn and figure out what that means. I'm interested now myself more. After talking to Alex, I want to thank him again for all the insights and inspiration in the story. He's really, I think, demonstrated the power of telling stories, the power of using what you've learned in just a short period of time and then turning that into content, turning that in. Learn, do, teach, right? It's the most simple, foundational way to describe how to go from sort of, not zero to hero. That's a little bit too much hype, but just from like zero to like doing some stuff and getting some results, man. You know what I mean? Like, and then where the hero part comes in is becoming the hero of your own journey instead of being inspired by everybody else and thinking that they're the ones who, I could never be like them. No, you can't. Shut up. And you got to tell that voice in your head to just shut up, right? Because you can be the hero. You can be the hero of your story. And the most important person that you should ever strive to inspire is you, not everybody else, right? Because that when you're inspired by yourself, when you're inspired by how you behave, how you get up, your discipline, your work ethic, your follow through, when you're inspired by that, people can feel that. It's a vibe, man. So we'll see you guys back here tomorrow, Tuesday. I think it'll be the 19th. And in the meantime, between now and then, be great. Most of all, be legendary.